Hello friends, welcome to my Ace Arrow Study channel. Today we are going to discuss about our new topic, that is how scientists present their evidences. So let's start this. Scientists present their evidences in the form of measurements. People make many statements in everyday lives. Some are qualitative and some are quantitative. A friend might say, "This music is great," or "It was a colder yesterday than today," or "There are only four forces of nature." In this, there is no reliable way to quantify the first statement, even though your friend may feel it is true. However, the next two statements can be quantified, and they can be subjected to actual measurements that will either support or refute the assertion. In science, we try to deal only with the statement that can be quantified. Otherwise, we would have no way to compare results. Scientists use measurements to arrive at precise and quantitative statement. A measurement must have two components, a number, and the second one is a unit, which specify the type of the quantity that is to be counted. Notice that number alone are not that useful. Unit must be in a system that is well defined. The statement "it was a cold yesterday" can be quantified by saying that it was a 15-degree yesterday, but you still need to know whether this is on the Celsius or Fahrenheit system of units. The statement "the stock market fell 50 points" is quantified, but to understand it, you need to know what a point on the Dow Jones average actually represents. So, astronomers need to handle very large and very small numbers. Scientific notation is a very useful shorthand for writing number of any sizes. It is also often called exponential notation. For example, instead of saying the distance is about 40,000 km, we can say it is 4 into 10 to the power 4 kilometers away. The exponent 4 represents the number of 0 following the significant figure 4. The system of units in physical science is amazingly simple. All the diverse measurements we can make in the physical world, speed, force, temperature, electric charge, energy, and so on, are derived from only three fundamental properties, that is mass, length, and time. To these properties we attach the familiar unit in the metric system, that is kilogram to measure mass, meter to measure length, and seconds to measure time. Almost every other type of measurement is just some combination of these units. For example, area is just length multiplied by length, and momentum is just mass multiplied by velocity, which is the same as mass multiplied by length divided by time. Even concepts such as energy or temperature can be expressed as a combination of the same three quantities. A simple system of unit helps scientists make sense of a complicated world. So friends, have you ever know that why do scientists generally use units in the metric system? Can anyone? Let's find out. The metric system was first put into widespread use after the French Revolution of 1789. The architect of the French Revolution wanted to make a break with the culture defined by royalty and hereditary power and usher in an age of reason. As a part of this sweeping set of social changes, they introduced a set of units based on a decimal counting system. The metric system was designed to replace the English system where a gallon is a pint, a foot is 12 inches, a pound weight is 16 ounces, a pound sterling is 20 shillings, and so on. These units have their origin in medieval European history, at a time when few peoples were illiterate or numerate. it was easier to have measurement that could be easily subdivided. The number 8, 12, 16 and 20 all have 3 or more factors, while 10 only has 2 factors. Okay. However, the metric system is much simpler. For example, a meter, which is roughly a yard, is 100 centimeters and a kilometer is 1000 meters. Thomas Jefferson was very impressed by the metric system and pushed for it to be adopted in the United States. He would be very disappointed if he knew that nearly 230 years later his country was the world's last holdout against adopting the metric system. It is ironic that the world's most advanced technological society still clings to inches, miles, acres, gallons, pins, pounds, and even horsepower rating. These anachronistic units are awkward to deal with, and the result is a subtle but profound disconnect between scientists and the general public. Okay, so friends, astronomy deals with the temperature extremes from the coldness of intergalactic space at 3 degrees above absolute cold to the shock wave of a supernova at a billion, that is 10 to the power 9 degrees. It spans objects that range in size from microscopic cosmic dust grain, that is about 10 to the power minus 6 meters, to the distance that light has traveled in the age of the universe, that is about 10 to the power 23 kilometers. Discussions range from the spare senses of the space between galaxies at a distance of 10 to the power minus 19 kilogram per cubic meter to the density inside a black hole at 10 to the power 18 kilogram per cubic meter. The difference between these last measurement is a factor of 10 to the power 37, or 1 followed by 37 zeros. With such factor, it is not surprising that astronomers use scientific notation. You will be noticed that the number of significant figures or non-zero digit in a scientific measurement. For example, look at the number 13,000 kilometers and 12,756 kilometers. In scientific notations, we will write this number 1.3 into 10 to the power 4 kilometers and 1.2756 into 10 to the power 4 kilometers. The first number implies quite a rough measurement. Changing the least significant figures would give you 12,000 or 14,000, which is a difference of 15%. But the second number implies a very fine measurements. Changing the least significant figures would give you 12,755 or 12,757, which is a difference of a tiny fraction of a percent. So the number of a significant figure is a measure of precision. Note that a calculator will often return a large number of significant figures, but that does not mean you should infer a high precision to the number. The precision of a number in science depends on how the measurement was made. Okay. However, we should point out that precise numbers are not always required in science and are sometimes not even possible to measure. Some measurements of atomic phenomena are precise to 12 significant figures, 1 part in trillion, while some numbers in cosmology are only precise to 1 significant figures. You can understand most of the material in astronomy without having to deal with very precise number. In the example just given, it is more important to remember that the Earth is roughly 13,000 km across than to try to memorize that it is exactly 12,756 km across. Few numbers in astronomy are known with the precision of more than 3 significant figures. Sometimes the uncertainty is a factor of 10, which is called an order of magnitude. Knowing an approximate value allows you to estimate many effects without extensive calculation or looking things up in books. This basic scientific skill is called estimation. Estimation saves times and allows scientists to distinguish promising hypotheses from foolish ones. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope you liked it.